here.
We here. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. Good morning, Queen. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. A
We
little
made
extra
it.
on the end. Rich Risings. Rich Risings.
Rich risings,
And
grand risings.
yes, we did. I am thankful and grateful that we are here this morning because I was definitely struggling to get up and get on this live this morning. So shout out to the teacher for giving me a call because I was still slow dragging. Yes, I was.
We was slothing it this morning. Slow dragon. But we made it.
So, yes, we are. Let me see here. I want to. Good morning, Bossy. Good morning, King. How you doing? Bossy is on the live.
Good morning, Big Fish. Grand risings. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday.
Yes, yes. Let's turn this down. How was your night, teacher?
It was cool, nothing too major, just work, little business work on the side. And to bed
I know that's right.
yeah. To bed early, yes. I still needed to catch up on my rest, honey.
Girl, right after I talked to you, face hit pillow real hard. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I called downstairs to Aziz. I was like, are you in the kitchen?
Now are you in the kitchen? Can you bring me
Are
something
you in the
to
kitchen? Are you in the kitchen? I'm not coming back down. Can you put the food away?
drink?
It was
Oh,
over.
Queen, how did the potatoes turn out?
It worked out. It worked out.
See?
They was no longer crunchy. So everybody, I have no oven in this house that we're in currently in. And so we bought a toaster oven that does air fry, roasting, baking, all these things, right? And um, I don't know how to follow directions very well. So I usually just wing it until I learn how to use stuff, or I watch YouTube videos because I am a visual learner. I am not a read the instructions and follow them to a T. Yeah, that doesn't work out for me. So I am a visual learner, and I know that about myself. So I was on the phone with the teacher, and we were trying to figure it out last night, trying to figure out how to use this new gadget that I brought into the household, and it was taking like 2 hours just to bake some but just to cook some little itty bitty potatoes that I chopped up real small. And I'm like, it should not take 2 hours to make these little potatoes. So, sometimes when a queen is in need, she calls on other queens for help. And so teacher was in there with me trying to read those dials last night. Yes, she was.
We
So
got it
thank you, queen.
done.
So it all worked out. They were no longer crunchy potatoes. They were soft to the bite. So thank you, queen.
You're welcome, Queen. Anytime. Anytime.
Hey, we be living life on here on Tips and Tea Live. Sometimes it's like that. It just be like that. Yes, yes. Grand Rising, Charlene. Thanks for tuning in to our live this morning. We appreciate you. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good
Grand
morning.
Risings, Queen. Good morning.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and kick this thing off because, as y'all know, the queens be having things to do, and we got to get this thing rocking and rolling. So, just want to say good morning to everyone, and welcome back to another Tips and Tea Live. My name is Shantola Shabazz, and I'm joined with Mr. Teacher Booker as well. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning.
Now, you all may notice that we are one queen short. Miss Nikki Taylor is unable to join us this morning because she's still not feeling well. She is still in the hospital, so we just continue to ask for you all's prayers for her. As you know, Nikki is going through an ongoing battle with cancer, and we're just asking everyone to just take some moment out of their day today, if you can, whether it be this morning or later today. If you can just keep Nikki in your thoughts and in your prayers, and pray healing over her and strength of her for her family and her loved ones as well. So, thank you all for just thinking of us and thinking of Nikki and just continuing
Yes.
to support us. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you. All right. And for those of you who don't know, we are all consultants with Nove. Mr. Teacher is a senior consultant, all well on her way to leveling up. I myself is a regional consultant. Yes, yes. And Miss Nikki Taylor is also a senior consultant. And we're here through Nove that helps bring financial services to our audience, to our friends, our family, our loved ones, where we help with helping you understanding your credit, what that role looks like to fix your credit. We also assist with financial services like funding for your business, setting up your LLC if you haven't yet started one, all the
Mm-hmm.
way from insurance to estate planning with wills and trusts, and so much more. So, again, Nove is a fintech based company that's able to offer these services across all 50 states. So, if you are in need of assistance or some guidance, definitely feel free to reach out to one of us through Nove Family itself or someone on our heavy hitter go getter family team. We can all assist you with any of the services that you might need help with, all the way over to helping you set up a bank account if you need it. All right. Now, today, what are we talking about, so teacher? What are we getting into today? I know last week we talked about budgeting. I think we wasn't done with budgeting yet.
No, we still have so much more to get into. So much more, Queen.
Definitely did. So last week, y'all, we talked about debt detox and what that looked like, how to just even get started with it. And we weren't quite finished yet. So we wanted to
Right.
go into a part two. So we're doing detox again and how to build up that plan to pay off your debt. Right. So last week, we kind of got into assessing your debt and then
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to come up with the best strategy for you and what that looked like. So
Right.
when it comes to assessing your debt, you want to just make sure that you're looking at the overall picture and looking at everything. Like we talked about last week, if you have a chance, go back and check out that live where it's important for you to gather everything. So gather all your
Right.
debt information as far as account types, any outstanding balances you have. You want to break those up into different categories. Look at the interest rates, your minimum monthly payments, your due dates. You want to separate them from credit cards to from loans, and the loans even further than that, break it out to personal loans, student loans, auto loans, home loans, and so on. Look at all your collection accounts, whether it be medical bills, utility bills that you haven't paid, old credit
Right.
card bills, things like that. And then also look at other debts like tax debts from the IRS or from the state, any child support payments that you're making, overdraft fees. So looking at all these things and making sure you're categorizing them and set it up by highest interest rates. When are these payments due? Just doing a complete breakdown and then also looking at what might be the best strategy for me to pay off these debts. So last week we talked about the avalanche method, you know, what that looks like for paying off debt. And we also looked at the snowball method. So
Mm-hmm.
there's really no wrong way to approach it because each one comes with its pros and cons, but it's just what works for you. And I believe when we talked about the snowball method, we looked at paying off the smallest to the largest debts, right? You want to
Mm-hmm.
tackle the small ones because it gives you the quick wins and it helps you to stay motivated, especially if this is something you haven't done before. Tackling a large debt first might be a little overwhelming. You might be a little discouraged. So if looking at it and approaching it that by this way, this might actually help you stay consistent with paying your debt as you're making these small wins to pay these off. And then, of course, looking at the avalanche method, you're looking at tackling the debts with the largest amount with the highest interest rate and trying to pay that off as soon as possible to get that debt down. Now, doing that approach, it'll help get the debt paid off a little bit quicker because you're going after that interest rate and you're not paying so much out of pocket in interest because you're tackling that biggest debt. So
Right.
there's definitely some pros and cons to both. If you want to review more of that information, just go back and look at our last week's live, and we do like that really good deep dive. And if
Yes,
you want to
Queen.
know more, you can definitely contact the teacher, myself, or Nikki, and then we'll help get you started. So, see, what did you pick up from last week that you want to share with the audience again, just to kind of give them a quick little recap?
Some of my main takeaways from last week's episode was basically, how budgeting can be a game changer. Sometimes people look at budgeting more of like a punishment, but you're setting yourself up to be able to have a little financial freedom later. And again, that avalanche and snowball method that you mentioned, I definitely like that. The avalanche I liked, because it's a slower process because you're attacking larger debt. But I did definitely like that snowball because, of course, we all like to, have our wins, you know what I mean? So that snowball method was something that I definitely did like, and was a good takeaway from last week's episode. And, today just wanted to talk about again how creating a budget can be a game changer, especially when you're trying to reach certain financial goals. Awareness is everything. You want to make sure that you are aware of your debts. You want to make sure you're aware of your bills. You want to make sure what you have coming in and what you have going out. Control over your spending. Sometimes that can be an issue. We sometimes lack self control, and sometimes it's hard to be an adult. It's hard adulting, but we have to be in control of our spending and in control of the things that we do. Um, Helping to prioritize your needs versus your wants. I believe we had an episode about that, your needs versus your wants. A need is something that you have to have. A want is something that you don't necessarily have to have. So, you need to pay your rent. You need electricity. You know what I mean? You want a pair of shoes. You see, let's see here, preparing for emergencies. So, budgeting is going to help you to be able to prepare for emergency situations like, your car needing fixed or an unexpected bill. Um, and it's going to help you to accelerate your debt payoff. So, supporting long term goals and reducing financial stress. Those are some things that I love about budgeting because we all have been stressed out financially, and stress is not a good thing. It truly isn't. So when you have a plan, you worry less, you have peace of mind, and you know that you're handling your money in a wise, responsible way.
That's true. That's true. And I
Yes, ma'am.
know from last week, we had a couple of our audience members also drop a couple gems as well. Shout out to Nita. I don't know if she's on the live this morning, but last week,
Miss
she
Nita is.
mentioned
I saw
how.
Miss Nita join.
Oh, there she is. Great morning, Nita. Great morning,
Yes.
billionaire. Good morning, Kier. Good morning, Leslie, as well. So yeah, Nita dropped last week on our budgeting live that how she now does the majority of her shopping online. So she
Hmm.
does her grocery shopping online because it helps her not to pick up those extra items, right? There's only certain things that she'll go to the store for, that way it helps her to stay on budget. All right. Because I'm guilty of that. I'm walking through the grocery store, especially if I'm a little bit hungry.
Hmm.
Extra stuff does end up going in the cart. So
Yes,
thank you, Miss
ma'am.
Lisa, for sharing that from last week. Absolutely. So again, it can work. It just depends, on your lifestyle, what works for you. A lot of the different grocery store chains I do know offer, especially the free delivery, especially if you're a new customer to the delivery
Yes.
service, they'll give you the free trial for a while where you're not paying any delivery fees. And then just think about this way, think about how much money you save by not going to the grocery store because you're not buying those extra things, even if you do end up having to pay a delivery fee. So you have to look at the overall cost
Right.
of it. At the end of the day, you're still putting gas in your car to make it to the grocery store, right?
Facts.
And most of the time when I go grocery shopping, I'm not going to just one store. I end up going to like 3 or 4 stores because they don't have the specific things that I want or whatever. So sometimes you do save a little money by not having to run around all over the place and do your grocery shopping. So shout out again to Miss Nita for dropping that gem last week on, just little ways that's helping her stay on track with her budget this year as well. So I'm gonna start implementing that more for myself, especially where I am right now, because who got time? Who got time for
Yes,
that?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I'm like Nita too. I would much rather do my shopping online because You always find something extra, especially when you waiting in line. It's always something, oh, I could use that, or you see something
Mm-hmm.
extra, so
Yeah,
shopping online is where it's at when it comes to certain things like that. And
absolutely.
someone, Leslie Miller, asks, where can she see last week's episodes? Last week's episodes, they're on all of our pages, and then also in the Heavy Impact group as well.
Yes, yes. You can also check out our YouTube at
Oh,
Tips and Tea Live on YouTube. You can catch it on there as well. So we got options for you. We always give you a few different places that you
yes,
can go and
ma'am.
get the information. So absolutely. Well, so Tisha, you want to get into your tip for the week?
Of course, Queen. Of course. So my tip for the week is increasing income and finding extra money. So what we're going to talk about is some side hustles, part-time gigs, and things of that nature. So, you can always start a side hustle. You can turn your skills or hobbies into cash, whether it's baking, graphic design, tutoring, or ride share, because there's a lot of people that do Uber, DoorDash, things like that. Spark with Walmart, those are all extra ways to generate income. Something that we always say, invest in yourself. You can take courses, learn high income skills like digital marketing or coding. You can always take classes or courses and get certified to increase your income. You can monetize what you know. You can start a coaching program, write an ebook, different things like that. And of course, we always want to throw in there, you can join Nove, the credit and money company, and become an affiliate and earn as you learn. And then another thing you could do is turn your social media into a business. You could use platforms like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Once you get so many followers and things like that, your content can get monetized. So that's something else. And let's see here. Um, let's ask the audience a question. What's a side hustle or extra income idea that you think you could do to pay off your debt faster? Let's
Yes,
see if we can
yes.
get a little audience engagement here. Because, having multiple streams of income always helps, even if it's a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, you know, um, you make $30 a day doing DoorDash or Uber Eats, that adds up. All that money
It
adds up
definitely
to
does.
your extra money.
Yep, that extra money that you can put towards paying down that debt because you have that extra income now. Every little bit counts, definitely. Oh, shout out to Leslie. She says what's helped her is keep water with you if you go to the grocery store so that you can drink when you want to pick something up that you don't need. I'm gonna
Mhm.
try that.
That's smart.
I'm
That's
gonna try
smart.
that because most of the time you're not even hungry. You're dehydrated.
Yeah. You just seeing it, and your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You just see it and you
Yes,
want it because you see it. That's the only thing.
yes, definitely be dehydrated. I'm so sad because we left and we came to Mexico and I left my big water bottle that helps keep me on track with drinking my water throughout the day. But lo
Hmm.
and behold, when I went to the store, what did I find?
A water bottle.
A water bottle with the tracking the times on that. So I snatched that up real quick. I paid that $7. That's an
Hey,
investment. That's
that
an
was a good
investment.
$7 investment, Queen. Keep you on track and keep you hydrated, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. She says I make fried. Leslie says she also makes fried dough. And then she can also teach a I can't say the word phlebotomy
Phlebotomy
course.
course.
Blah, 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 blah. I feel like
Phlebotomy.
Busta
Okay,
Rhymes this
shout out
morning.
Leslie. I'm a phlebotomist. Okay.
I know that's right. Multi-talented audience members here today.
Yes, honey. You got to keep them
Oh,
skills. Got to
yes,
be
Nita does
versatile.
ebooks.
Nita said
Okay, Nita.
ebooks.
And she's getting paid to do her own travel
I
as
know that's
well.
right, Queen. Get paid to do your own travel, honey. Make that money. Make that money work for you.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to talk to Nita and Leslie because Leslie, I'm gonna need some of that fried dough. Do you ship? I need to
Look, she
know.
said, "Do you ship?"
I'm getting bad. I'm getting so bad at this because I literally was talking to Tran the other day and
Uh-huh.
she was questioning my memory on certain things. And I
Uh-oh.
was like, no, I remember because it was related to food. Whenever there's food involved, I remember what happens. Okay. Outside of that, I can't make any guarantees. But if we were eating some food or talking about food or going to get some food, I'm going to remember what happened. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Leslie said she got you, so she must share, honey.
Okay, look, we're gonna have to have a conversation. I'm gonna be in your inbox later, just to let you know. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yes, honey. Fried dough, here we come.
Yes, yes. Look, do you also do icing on the fried dough? I'm just wondering. I'm asking for myself, not for a friend. Asking
At
for
least you
myself.
being honest. She said, I'm asking for myself, not for a friend.
uh, you know, we support all businesses over here.
Yes,
Yes.
we do. Yes, we do.
Well,
All the
rolling right
above.
into it. Yeah, thank you, Queens. Thank you, everyone, for just dropping some information to the chat. And y'all go see Nita about traveling. I know y'all got some trips coming up, so talk to Miss Nita Jones if you need some help with planning your family vacations or some getaways. Nita does have some. She has some really great deals for everyone. So go see Nita Jones if you're doing some traveling this year. You need some guidance.
Yes, ma'am. Nita Jones. Look her up.
So getting back into it, we also want to continue to help you stay on track with, getting out of debt, but also with avoiding new debt. So that's a key thing as well, right? Because it's not only about just paying off debt, but it's also about how can you also not acquire new debt while you're in
Right.
this debt payoff season. So just keep in mind to just try to maintain healthy habits. First off, let's start savings. We kind of talked about it a little bit last week. We touched on it a little bit, but it's very important for you to pay yourself. I can't reiterate that enough. Even if it's taking $10 out a week, take $10 out, start putting it into a savings account, and not just a savings account. Look into doing a high yield savings account where you can
Right.
earn 3 to 5% more in interest. If you don't know what a high yield savings account is, definitely come see one of us. We can help you with finding out which might be a good savings account for you. Here at No Bay, we have a couple options. Right now, we have something going on with SoFi where you can also set up a checking and a high yield savings account, and
Right.
it gives you a debit card as well. So you can start there with actually adding on extra money for yourself by doing a high yield savings account that's paying you over 3%
Hmm.
versus a standard bank account where it's only paying you 0.01%, which is nothing, basically, not even a whole penny in some cases.
No.
So the tip is to definitely aim to stash away at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in that separate account for yourself. And again, at least doing the $10 a week, it might not seem like a lot in this moment, but it does add up over time, right? It'll help definitely cover a lot of things instead of you putting that expense on your credit card later on
Right.
down the line. If your car breaks down or you have an unexpected medical bill come up, now you can actually go into that account and use that money instead and save yourself on paying extra interest on that credit card. All
Hmm.
right. Now, as far as kind of staying out of debt, if you're going through a debt detox and you're paying off credit card bills and paying off loans, try not to open up new credit card accounts. Okay. If you can, you know, mm, I reiterate, try not to open up new accounts. Let's try to pay down the
Stay
old
away.
accounts.
Stay away.
Yeah. But of course, if with your already credit cards that you already have, try paying off the balance in full every month to avoid paying interest. Keeping your utilization under 30% if you can, under 10% is even better. And then only charging what you can afford to pay back. So the key with having a credit card, people, is not spending more than what you have in your bank account to pay off that credit card each month. All right. But we know life happens, emergencies come up. I mentioned last week, if you still have good credit and you know on your credit card you're at an interest rate of 29%, check with your bank. Check to see. if your bank will have like an option for a line of credit that you might be able to open up, because sometimes the loans might have a lower interest rate than what you will be paying on your credit card. So look
Right.
into other options versus just throwing everything on the credit card. If you have it in the bank, of course, to pay off the credit card at the end of the month, that's a great way to build up points and things like that and build up your credit. But if not, then look into some other options if you know that you're going to have to be carrying over balance each month and it's going to take you some time to pay back that debt. So it's just looking at the overall picture and making sure you're looking at the interest rates, the terms, and things like that before you acquire on that much more debt. And
Right.
then not only that, but to have an accountability partner. Make sure they're helping you keep you on track. And if you don't have an accountability partner, get you a financial coach. So Teacher is a great accountability partner. If you want her to
Well, thank you,
harass you, she
Queen.
will. They'll help keep you focused and motivated. They will help keep you stay on track, especially when your life get busy. Because sometimes she's like, "Well, Queen, what you been up to? What you got going on? Did you do this? How's this going for you?" So she checks in on me. So you need someone like that in your life to remind you. Um, it's funny because I actually was watching something the other day, and I think it was a video on TikTok, and it was like for people who have ADD or a little might be a little bit autistic and their house is a mess. So their friend will call them and be like, "I'm coming over." So they'd be like, "Okay," and then they'll hang up. And then that friend will do like a quick 20-minute clean, get their house together and get everything cleaned up. But then an hour later, the friend ain't showed up yet. So they call them like, "Hey, what happened? I thought she was coming over." It's like, "No, I just did that so you'll get up and clean your house."
Just a little motivation.
Just a little motivation. Sometimes we need that. Like, I need to go out. Like, I have a big surprise coming up. I need to go do this dinner. I need some extra money in my account. I need to plan this. Hey, sometimes you got to plan for stuff in advance or just pop up on your friends and see what they got going on to make sure that they get their house clean and get their house in order. So,
Gotta do
just
what
some
you gotta
little
do.
tidbits that might help you along the way. Get you an accountability partner. We're not in life to do this alone. Definitely not. So, um, what else can we share with the audience today, CC? We talked
Mm,
about side hustles. We talk about having an accountability partner. What other
uh,
challenge can we help them with today?
hmm. Well, you wanna do what you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I think we have a little bit more time. So we wanted to challenge the audience too to get into the debt detox as
Hmm.
well. Um, if you guys want to join along with us, this is what we're trying to do for the next, I think, 30 days. It's going to be a 30-day challenge, right? Where we're
Right.
going to help
Hmm.
people with doing a debt detox. So if there's anything in your life that you need to pay off, like credit card, or you need to do a savings goal, or anything like that, we're challenging everybody to join in on this debt detox. And if you actively participate in it, I think every Tuesday, we're going to have everybody come in and just drop their wins in the chat
Hmm.
of what they've been doing to stay on track and what they've paid off or what they're working towards, how they're working towards it, and what's working for them, what might not be working for them as well. So next Tuesday, we'll do our first drop in the chat about how this is working out. But the main goal is to just, again, identify your debt, keeping track of everything, looking at those balance, those interest rates, and then setting a goal for yourself. So,
Hmm.
what's your goal when it comes to what you're trying to pay off, right? Especially if you're looking at that credit card that has a 29% or higher interest rate or somewhere around there where you want to focus on paying that down, make that your goal that you want to pay that off within the next 3 to 6 months. So setting
Right.
a goal for yourself and identifying what the problem is, and then we're creating that plan. So again, it's when I want to, how much I want to pay towards that debt each month that's going to help me hit that goal of paying it off within that 6 month period. So we do need to
Hmm.
break that down. Identifying ways that you can also have extra income coming in to help go towards that debt. So those side
Right.
hustles, what can you sell that you're not using that can also be used to pay off that debt?
Right.
Um, any how you can cut discretionary spending. Last week we talked about I have too many streaming services that I had to go in and do a wick whack on. You know, so teacher has talked about her Starbucks habit.
Hey, I know it's only Tuesday, but I haven't had any this week, so I'm proud of
There we
myself.
go. That's a win. That's a win. She saved $12. She
Yes,
saved
I have my
$12.
coffee from right in my kitchen.
Yes, yes. So we already kind of started last week and we started talking about it, but we want to, do an active participation with some of our audience members to see if this will help you all as well too. So cutting that spending. Next week we can drop what we've cut in order to help us save some money towards going towards paying off that debt. We also want to look at our daily financial habits.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at your bank account. Take a look. Take a look at your bank account. Take a look at your credit card statements or just what your active expenses are coming up on that credit card and see what you're spending your money on. And then I know this is going to hurt. Cut at least one. Cut at least one expense that you've been spending money on, right?
Well, I know what mine is.
She cut the Starbucks, so she needs to do one more. She needs to do one more.
Oh, one more.
Yes, one more.
Oh,
Just one.
Jesus.
Just one.
Wow. Like I said, wow. All right, Queen. A challenge accepted. I'll find one more thing to cut.
And we appreciate you. See, Queen supporting Queen. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you.
No problem. No problem. Because at the end of the day, it's going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to help me in the long run. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go through the pain to get to the good part.
That's true. That's very true. And then any extra income that you do have coming in, everybody, like bonuses or refunds, don't
Oh,
go
yeah.
take that money, spend it on something extra. Take that money and put it in the high yield savings so that can go towards paying down that debt or put it towards paying down the debt right away, right? If you can. Um, and then just making sure you're looking at your budget. If you haven't done your budget yet for this year, this is now a
Mm.
time for you to definitely sit down and look at doing your budget. Again, so teacher mentioned last week, you want to give them the breakdown of the 50-30-20 again, so teacher, so they'll know what to aim for.
Sure. 50% of your needs, 30% of your wants, and then 20% for your savings. So, you need to put 20% up. And when we say 30% of your wants, you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? Important things, not just like necessities, you know what I mean, not frivolous things, so you want to put the 50% towards like your bills, things that you need to pay, things you have to pay, and then the 30% of your wants, and again, this is not frivolous wants, and then the 20% to save.
Yeah, so 30% could be wanting to pay down that
The
credit card
debt.
debt.
Yeah.
30% can be paying towards those medical bills. Like if you got to go to the dentist and you need a root canal, you bridge, whatever. Those are the ones we're talking
Yes,
about.
honey.
Not wanting to spend money on that bag in the store.
Right. Leslie said not Starbucks. I know, not
I
Starbucks.
know. Ooh,
Not Starbucks.
that strawberry refresher do be hitting different on them real hot days. I'm telling you, it'd be good.
It
But
does. It
we're not
does.
gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. So definitely keeping that in mind, and then just making sure you're staying accountable. So we are your accountability partners, everybody. So Leslie
Yes.
said she's in. Kiera says she's gonna do it. So teacher, check your live to see if you have anybody dropping comments on
Let's
your
see
Facebook as well.
here.
And then I'll go on and check YouTube a little bit later. So if you said you're in,
Let's go.
don't get mad at me when I'm in your inbox with the eyeballs talking about how's it going.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're gonna call y'all out next week to see, okay, what's your win this week? What was that one thing that you end up cutting? So we are in this together. We're gonna hold each other accountable. And if you have someone in your household that can go through this with you, that can also hold you accountable, that's even better because the closer the proximity, the even better is even better. So definitely pull in a spouse, a close friend. Get your kids involved because some
Oh
kids,
yeah.
some
Yeah,
kids
sometimes kids need
will
to learn how to
definitely hold you
save.
accountable.
They sure will. They sure will. They'll check you faster than anybody else. Well, didn't you say you was doing this? Like what?
Yes,
Don't do
I have
that.
a text. I have a
Right.
text. They be your own people. Don't call me out on the things I told you to call me out on. How dare you?
Exactly. Just shh. Let me do me. Just be quiet.
Absolutely. Because I tell you, my daughter, she be on my neck because I told her I was doing a fast from watching TV during the week because it became bad, y'all. It was literally I was playing in the background while I'm working. I'm in the car listening to episodes while I'm driving around. While I was driving from downtown Chicago back home. So yeah, I was like, I was doing way too much. I was like, okay, yes, I need to do a fast from watching TV. I'm just listening to it, nothing during the week, only on the weekend. And then I told her one day, I said, well, we can go to the movie. We can go see a movie on Tuesday or whatever, because I had some time. She was like, I thought she wasn't watching no movies or TV during the week.
Yeah, she
And hit me
called
with
you
the
out.
shoulder and the wing and looked at me through the side of her face.
No,
So,
she
yes,
did. She checked mama. So then that movie trip got rerouted to the weekend, huh?
it did. It definitely did. So, yeah, get your kids involved. They'll keep you honest. They definitely will. No passes. They give you no passes.
Mm-mm. And you,
And then,
sometimes when your kids do, it makes you like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? It's like a different kind of check. It's not like your friend checking you. It's like, oh, well, let me get it together. Let me get myself together
mhm,
because I did say that, didn't I?
yes, because your kids are watching you, and if they see you be successful, they're like, okay, this is something I can do as well because my mom is doing it, my dad is doing it.
Right.
It must be something good. So it's not like it's a bad thing to be teaching them. So it's good to be able for them to actually see it and not just hear you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, and then of course, we have to celebrate. We have to celebrate the wins that we do have. So, at the end of 30 days, anybody who's participated and has been, showing us and keeping track with us and all that, we do have some special prizes, which we will announce next week because we just want to keep it
Yeah.
more suspense. But one of those, we have a couple more prizes, but one of them will be a free financial analysis sheet, and we also will be throwing in what did we say we're going to do? We're going to be throwing in $100 off the credit repair if they need it as
Yes.
well. But we have some other special prizes coming your way next week. So, yeah,
Stay
just tune in next
tuned.
week. I might be sending some special gifts to some people if they do
Uh-oh.
their meals next week. So, you have to tune in for what it is.
Yes. Stay tuned for next Tuesday's tips and tea, okay?
Yes, yes. So, I'm just going to drop. So, these are some of the steps. I don't know if it's popping up on Facebook or YouTube, but these are some of the steps that we talked about, and then we'll go over them again next week for the detox challenge. So we'll
I
check
showed
with
them
our
the
audience.
comments.
Yeah. Did you have anybody drop any comments, teacher?
Let me see here. Jennifer's watching.
I know sometimes I'm on a delay, so I don't see it right away.
Jennifer said, "Show me because read." Okay, I think she was talking to Jennifer. What were you talking about, Queen? Were you talking about the steps for the savings challenge? Because she said, "Show me," so I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about. Let's see here. That's the only thing. And Monica said she was in with the savings challenge, but that's the
Hey,
only
let's
question I see
go,
on mine.
Bonnie. Yep, Destiny says she's in as well.
Mm-hmm. I think Nita said she was in, and Leslie as well too, right?
hmm All right, y'all. We're doing this debt detox challenge for the next
Let's
30
go.
days, starting April 8th. So we're in. So we'll be checking progress weekly next Tuesday. We're going to have everybody drop their wins and one expense that they were able to cut from now
Mm-hmm.
until next Tuesday. So take a look. Take a look at those bank accounts. Take a look at those credit card statements. See what you're spending your money on and what can be cut.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right. So, oh,
You want to get into our trivia question?
oh, yeah, because it's already 8:43 my time. No, I know
Oh
it's
wow, yeah, we
9:43
gotta
your
get ready to
time.
cut this thing. Gotta cut it. Okay, let's see here. To the listeners, let's see here. What is the average credit score needed to qualify for the best credit card interest rates? Again, what is the average credit score needed to qualify for the best credit card interest rates? Let's see
I give
what you
you a
got to
hint.
say. We have any
It's not
guesses
in the
out there?
500s. It's not in the 500s.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Leslie said, okay, 643.
You getting close. We
Come
talk
on, come
about the
on. Who
best.
says, yeah, 650? Come on. Leslie said 750. There you go, Queen. The answer is typically 740 or higher.
Yeah, so Leslie, you were kind of right. You were kind of right. So
Yes,
you hit it with the
Queen.
750.
Right, right. Well, 750, you would have been in there.
Yes, yes. So 740 or higher, everyone, to get those really good interest rates on those credit cards, to qualify for the extra rewards, points, and programs. They do still have those set up for credit cards, but it gets you to another tier when you
Hmm.
hit 740 and above. It definitely does. You get some different types of offers from these card companies. All right. Well, so teacher, I think we should roll right into our promo because you know Queen's got things to do. We gotta go. We gotta
Yes,
go.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Did you want to pull it up on the screen or you just want me to run over it real quick?
Yeah, let's just run through it because we're cutting short on time. So yeah, go right ahead, Queen.
All right. So let's see here. We're going to talk about, we're going to mention Nove's debt help program. So if you have personal debt or business debt, we can definitely help you with that. You can reach out to myself, to Teacher Booker, Shantella Shabazz, or Nikki Taylor. We can definitely help you with the debt help program. And then also, too, don't forget we have credit restoration options available. We have My Nove Disputes Manager, which is a do it yourself type program. It's a simple to use, easy point and click AI driven system. And then we also have our referral partner Credit Likes, where it is completely done for you. And they do offer a 90-day money back guarantee as long as you're making your payments on time and in full. And then also too, we just want to encourage you to, stay tuned for next week's episode and to
Mhm.
participate with our debt detox. And then don't forget, we do offer the LLC promotion as well, where we have the free LLC, we have the elite, and we have the essential. With the elite and the essential, you do get a 12 weeks business coaching program. So keep that in mind. And we are definitely here to serve and here to help. So if you need help with any of those things that I just mentioned, please feel free to get with us and we will be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely. So yeah, just thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week we're definitely gonna keep on the budget track. So we're gonna be talking about just different ways to help you budget your money and a savings plan that actually works.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be diving into that and again, get you a high yield savings account.
We can help you
Throw it
with
out there one more
that.
time.
Yes.
Come over. We'll help you get you a high yield savings account if you already don't have one, or get you a second one because again, you don't have to have just one account. Each account has different features that might help you with different things that you want to do, especially with the SoFi, which has the check-in feature that gives you up to 0.5% on
Hmm.
the interest rate on a checking account, which a lot of
Right.
banks do not do. So yeah, come check us out over here with Nove and what type of financial services we might have available for you. All right, but thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Shout out to Leslie. Thank you again, Queen, for dropping the
Yes,
seven
Leslie was
fifty.
on it this morning answering, honey. Thank you,
Dropping
Leslie.
the 750. Yes, yes. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Shout out to Destiny. I see she dropped the 720 in the chat as well too.
She
So
sure
thank you
did.
everyone for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
All
Love,
right,
love y'all.
everybody have a happy, blessed